Good Erev Shabbos, Beit family. A thought on this Erev Shabbat, which coincides with Veterans Day, Erev Shabbat of Parashat Vayera. With thanks to Rick Feldman, who connected me with this opportunity, truly a bridge builder. I had the privilege this morning at 11 o'clock to stand at the monument, the Veterans Monument, right here down the road from the Beit, Riverdale, Kingsbridge, Spuyten Duyvil Monument. We gather there for so many reasons, to raise a voice of moral conscience in defense of Am Yisrael and Medinat Yisrael, to speak out for justice and equality in this nation, to mourn lives lost due to terror and hate around the world, and to seek solidarity, togetherness, neighborliness, and a spirit of community under God. And it was particularly meaningful then to gather there for the original purpose of this monument, to express gratitude and honor the lives of service people who have served this United States of America with distinction and made the ultimate sacrifice, and to honor veterans, some 19 million U.S. Armed Forces veterans alive today, and express our gratitude for their service and their commitment. In my closing words there, I referenced this week's Torah portion, this week's Parashat Vayera, which also speaks about an ultimate sacrifice, God's challenging, testing Abraham with the binding of Isaac. We have our moral questions about the nature of this challenge. Would God really ask for the sacrifice of a child, of a human life? What is the ultimate message? And of course, God ultimately doesn't ask it, but tells Abraham to stop and expresses that it was Abraham's willingness to make the ultimate sacrifice, as complex as that feels to us in this ethical moment. It was Abraham's willingness to make that ultimate sacrifice, and in some sense, Yitzchak's willingness, but yes, also Abraham's willingness to make that sacrifice of his child that causes God to see in him the God-fearing, God-revering person to be a covenantal partner, the founder of the Jewish people, and in many ways, by extension, of all Abrahamic faiths. Faiths that teach us that there is something ultimate beyond us that demands our willingness to make an ultimate sacrifice. Values, beliefs that call us to subjugate ourselves to something bigger than ourselves. Our traditions describe what those different values and ultimate callings may be, and we each pledge our allegiances to them in different ways. But I really was reflecting on that language when God says to Abraham, "Now I know ki yirei Elokim ata, that you are God-fearing, v'lo chasachta et bincha et yechidcha mimeni, in your not sparing your child, your only one, from me." And it's striking, even later on, a few verses, it says that God says, now that you have done this thing, Yan ki asita et hadavar hazeh, v'lo chasachta et bincha et yechidecha, not sparing your child. But what did Abraham do? He didn't really make the sacrifice. But in a sense, the willingness is tantamount to the action itself when it comes to showing our commitment to our most deeply held values. This, for me, is the legacy and the teaching of our veterans. Some made the ultimate sacrifice, the sacrifice of their lives for freedom and liberty and democracy and human rights around the world in upholding the values of this profound and sacred nation, this United States of America. Some did not sacrifice their lives, but in their willingness to, they made the ultimate sacrifice. They showed and taught the deepest values of what it means to believe in and be willing to put our lives on the line for something far, far greater than ourselves that we all belong to. And so it's with true, humble gratitude to our veterans that I offer these thoughts. And I also want to lift up one of the things that one of the veterans shared in his remarks, which is even those who came back from the battlefield made many, many sacrifices. The challenge of mental health for veterans of many wars remains a serious one. Of the 19 million veterans, 60,000 some are homeless today, suffering. What is our duty to those whose duty made them willing to make the ultimate sacrifice? What is our duty to them to ensure their health and well-being, their safety, and their welfare begins with offering our gratitude and honoring them on this day. So as we reflect with complexity, with sophistication, on what the ultimate values that our Jewish faith, that our American identity call upon us to be willing to make, and recognize that that willingness in many ways is tantamount to making those commitments, may we pledge our allegiance to this United States of America, for us as Jews, to our God and the people of Israel, being willing to put ourselves on the line for what matters most, as we are the legacy and the descendants of Avraham Avinu, of Abraham, our patriarch, with gratitude to our veterans, to our Bayit, to this United States of America. Shabbat Shalom.